Welcome to The Explainer. We're all about taking big, complex ideas and breaking them down into something you can actually use. And today, we are diving into Dr. David Sinclair's protocol for a longer, healthier life. This isn't just some fad. It's a framework built on decades of solid research from Harvard Medical School.
All right, let's just cut to the chase. If you could only ask Dr. Sinclair for one piece of advice, the single best place to start, what would it be? You know, with all the noise out there about health, he says there's one simple habit that makes the biggest difference of all.
So here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll get right to that big longevity secret. Then, we'll dig into the science behind why it works. After that, we'll get super practical with a guide to fasting and figure out what you should actually be eating. And we'll wrap it all up with a simple checklist to get you on your way.
Okay, let's dive right in. So what is this big secret? Well, I can tell you what it's not. It's not some crazy, complicated diet, and you don't need to buy a bunch of expensive supplements. Nope. It's actually a really fundamental shift in how we think about food, one that taps into our body's ancient survival programming.
There it is. Eat less often. Just 3 simple words. And according to Dr. Sinclair, this one change, this right here, can have a more profound impact on your health and how long you live than pretty much anything else. It's huge.
Now, this is a really important point. This isn't just about calories or losing weight, though that might happen. The real magic, the key, is the time you spend not eating. That's the trigger. It's when your body flips a switch, going from its growth and storage mode into a full-on defense and repair state. And that's when these powerful longevity programs kick in.
Okay, so how does this even work? I mean, how can just eating less often create such a massive change in the body? Well, it all comes down to a set of ancient survival genes that are literally hardwired into our DNA.
Yeah, think of it like this. Your body has a survival switch. When there's plenty of food around, your body's like, great, time to grow and store energy. But when you fast, your body thinks, uh-oh, times are tough. And that perception of adversity flips a genetic switch. It's like waking up this amazing team of microscopic janitors and repair crews that were just, hanging out, dormant, waiting for the call.
All right, first on that team are the sirtuins. Dr. Sinclair calls these the longevity genes, basically the master regulators of your cell's health. But here's the thing. To do their job, they need a special kind of fuel, a molecule called NAD. And guess what? Our bodies make more NAD when we're hungry. So when you fast, you get more NAD, the sirtuins get activated, and they get right to work repairing broken DNA and just keeping everything running like a well-oiled machine.
Next up, we've got something called mTR. You can think of it as your body's protein sensor. When you eat, especially protein, mTR switches on and tells your cells, let's grow, let's divide, which is good. But if mTAR is on all the time, your cells never get a break to clean house. So fasting is crucial because it turns mTAR down, and that kicks off this amazing process called autophagy. It's basically your cell's recycling program, clearing out all the old damaged junk that can lead to problems like Alzheimer's down the road.
And finally, there's AMPK. This one is your body's fuel gauge, its energy sensor. When it senses that energy levels are getting low, like during a fast, it kicks into high gear. Its main job? To tell your body to build more mitochondria. And if you remember from high school biology, mitochondria are the little power plants inside your cells. We naturally lose these as we get older, so firing up AMPK to build more is absolutely key for staying energetic and feeling vital.
Okay, so that's the science, the why behind all this. Pretty cool, right? But now let's get down to the how. How do you actually do this? How can you start eating less often in a way that, actually works with your real life? So look, there are a few different ways to approach this, and it's definitely not a one-size-fits-all kind of deal. Dr. Sinclair himself does what's called time-restricted feeding. He often just eats 1 meal a day. But the most important thing, and he stresses this, is to find a rhythm that's sustainable for you. And listen, you don't have to go all in from day one. In fact, Sinclair says it's better to just ease into it. A great way to start is by simply skipping 1 meal, like breakfast. And to handle the hunger, just stay hydrated. Tea, coffee, even just hot water can really help. But the biggest piece of advice here is be patient. Give your body 2 or 3 weeks to really get used to the new routine. And yeah, that first week or so, it might be tough. The hunger is real, you might even get a little brain fog. That's just your body trying to figure out what's going on. But stick with it, because after a couple of weeks, something amazing happens. Your liver adapts and learns to produce its own glucose. What does that mean for you? It means no more energy spikes and crashes. Instead, you get this smooth, stable energy and mental clarity that's often even better than before. All right, so let's say you've got the when to eat part down. That's huge. But what you actually put on your plate during that eating window, Well, that's just as important for turning on all those good longevity pathways we've been talking about. The rule of thumb here is pretty simple, actually. You want to avoid the stuff that shuts down your body's defenses and really lean into the foods that support them. Sugar and sugary drinks, they're enemy number one. They directly turn off your sirtuins and AMPK. And processed foods and lots of red meat, they keep that MTR switch stuck in the on position, which means your cells never get to do that all-important cleanup.
And the science really backs this up. Take the Adventist Health Study. This was a huge study, and what they found was a crystal clear link between what people ate and their risk of dying. Just by shifting away from a diet heavy in meat towards more plants, people lowered their mortality risk significantly. And get this, pesco-vegetarians, so people who ate fish but no other meat, had almost a 20% lower risk of dying compared to the non-vegetarians. That's a big deal.
Now here's a really cool concept that Sinclair talks about. It's called xenohormesis. Sounds complicated, but the idea is simple. When a plant gets stressed out, say from too much sun or pests trying to eat it, it produces these special protective molecules to help it survive. Here's the kicker. When we eat those stressed plants, we absorb their defense molecules, and they can actually turn on our own survival pathways. It's why red wine, which comes from stressed grapes, is packed with resveratrol.
Okay, wow, we have covered a lot of ground here, right? From fasting schedules all the way to the molecules inside stressed out plants. So let's pull it all together. Let's distill everything down into a simple, actionable checklist that you can start using like today.
All right, here it is, your cheat sheet. Number 1, eat less often. Just try skipping one meal to start. Number 2, ditch the sugar and sugary drinks. Seriously. 3, cut back on red and processed meats and focus on a diet packed with plants and veggies. And finally, when you're picking those plants, go for the colorful, organic, stressed ones whenever you can. That's where you'll find those amazing health-boosting molecules.
And hey, if you're listening to this and thinking, well, I've missed the boat on this one, please don't. Dr. Sinclair is really clear on this point. The science shows it is never too late. Making these kinds of changes, even if you're older, can have massive, positive benefits for your health.
So as we wrap this up, the question really isn't, does this stuff work? The evidence is pretty compelling. The real question, the one that matters, is for you. What's one small change you're willing to make starting today to invest in your future self and turn on your body's incredible, built-in defenses against aging?